Hello and welcome to today's news briefing. With me in the studio are Mr. Clifford and Sibi.
Yeah, good afternoon, Fatima.
And Mr. Mustafa Abdul Malik. If you are just joining us, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at Official Aspheric News on Facebook, at Aspheric News on Instagram, at Aspheric News on Twitter, and Aspheric TV on YouTube. These are some of the news that made the major headlines. The Punch says, Wike sues Atiku, Tambuwal demands recognition as candidate. Daily Sun says, terrorist creating parallel government in Kaduna, El-Rufai cries to Buhari. Le Vogue leadership says, terrorists creating parallel government in Kaduna. Again, El-Rufai says. The Guardian says, Catholics knock Lalong over Pope comments and want to suspend him. Daily Trust says, we won't use force to rescue abducted train victims. I beg your pardon. The Nation says, APC Vice Chair, Northwest, governors behind Tinubu. Wike sues Atiku, Tambuwal demands recognition as candidates, according to the Punch. Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State has sued the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, the Sokoto State Governor, Aminu Tambuwal, and the PDP over the conduct of the presidential primary elections of the party that was held in Abuja on May 28th and 29th, 2022. I beg your pardon. In the suit marked FHC ABJCS 782-2022, Wike and a PDP chieftain, Newgent Ekamon, are listed as the plaintiffs in the originating summons. The PDP is listed as the first respondent, while the Independent National Electoral Commission is the second respondent. Tambuwal and Atiku are listed as the third and fourth respondents, respectively. During the PDP presidential primaries, when aspirants were asked to address delegates, Tambuwal had asked them to vote for him, only to return moments later to ask them to vote for Atiku. At the primary, Atiku polled 371 votes, while Wike and Bukola Saraki garnered 237 and 70 votes, respectively. After the convention, the national chairman of the PDP, Iyorchia Ayu, described Tambuwal as the hero of the convention. We won't use force to rescue abducted train victims, Buhari says, according to Daily Trust. President Muhammadu Buhari said Thursday that the federal government will not use force in securing the release of the remaining abductees of the ill-fated Abuja-Kaduna train. The president said they had weighed all options and concluded that the best way to bring all the victims back home safely was not to use force. He, however, said that the federal government was doing everything, I beg your pardon, within its power to ensure the safe return of the remaining captives. Terrorists creating parallel government in Kaduna, El-Rufai says. Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai has revealed the extent of terrorist entrenchments in his state, saying they have managed to set up their own government structures and are exercising control over some areas of the state. This was revealed in the governor's leaked memo to the president, which warns of the terrorists' advanced plans to create a permanent operational base for the Northwest region. El-Rufai told President Muhammadu Buhari that terrorists were consolidating their grip on communities in Kaduna with a parallel government and permanent operational base in the northwestern state near Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Catholics knock Lalong over Pope comments, want him suspended, The Guardian. Aggrieved members of the Roman Catholic Church yesterday subjected Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State to scrutiny over his reference to the Pope while defending his acceptance to serve as the Director General of All Progressive Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council for the 2023 election. Lalong, while defending his new role of leading the APC's Muslim Tickets campaign, said he's a Catholic with the highest papal award of Knight of St. Gregory and Pope, had not told him he was doing wrong for backing a Muslim ticket. However, Catholics, in reaction to the comment, wants the governor suspended for dragging the papacy and leader of the over 1 billion Catholics worldwide into Nigeria's politics. President of Concerned Catholics in Nigeria, Dr. Ben Amodu, during a press conference in Abuja, insisted that Lalong must tender an apology to his publicly blasphemous statement about the Pope and the Church. We will be discussing some of these major headlines when we come back from this little break. Welcome back, and if you are just joining us, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at official Aspheric News on Facebook, at Aspheric News on Twitter, at Aspheric News on Instagram, and Aspheric TV on YouTube. With me in the studio again are Mr. Clifford and Sibi and Mr. Mustafa Abdurrahman. We'll be discussing these issues that made major headlines. So we will start from Wike sues Atiku Tambuwal, demands recognition as candidates. Mr. Mustafa, do you think he has a point? Do you think it's a valid cause?
Well, first of all, we just have to look at it. Where is Wike coming from politically? Wike has been a member of PDP right from his inception. So, and he played vital role until he became governor in 2015. So, and prior to the party convention, he said that look, he is a party man, that whatever the outcome of the party primaries, he still remain a party man, and he will support whoever emerged the winner. Well, so far right now he has reneged on this words. So, well, if you look at it very well, he lost out on two fronts. First of all, at the party primary, he lost out. He was defeated by Atiku. And then, on the choice of who becomes the running mate to the Waziri Adamawa, that is Atiku Abubakar, it was rumored that Atiku, they had a pact when Atiku went to visit him. That was after the primaries, that Atiku now promised that he will make him the running mate. So, but eventually, the intrigues within the party on who becomes the running mate, at the end of the day, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta became the running mate. And I could recall that during the unveiling of Okowa, Atiku gave reasons why he narrowed it down to Okowa. I believe that the incident that happened, that is the politics that happened that led to emergence of Okowa. It was what Wike is not too happy with. So, and right now, you could see that both the party ESCOs, the chieftains within the party, National Working Committee, the BOT, all of them, they now try to persuade Wike to a kind of to the path of unity, but so far he refused. And at the end of the day now, we are now seeing that he has approached the court on the interpretation of what transpired during the primary. It means that Wike is out for a mischief. I'm sorry to use that language. He's out for mischief. If indeed he's a party man, he should abide by whatever transpired within the party, especially when the party BOT, we have elder statements within the party. All of them, they approached him, he refused. Instead, the kind of condition that is given, you understand, we should be coming to ourselves in this case now. This is a party, the major opposition party, that is approaching the general election, and Wike is giving a condition to say, look, that the party chairman should step down. You understand? It's like touching the soul of the party itself ahead of an election, and that's why we now discover that PDP decided to say, no, look, let him do his worst. And doing his worst now is why he's decided to approach the court.
Okay.
Well, let's watch and see. I think it's not a new person to when it comes to legal battle. So eventually the court will interpret what transpired there.
Okay, so Mr. Clifford, what is your piece on this particular issue? Do you think Governor Wike has a valid case?
Well, democracy is a game of numbers, and as a true party man that should exhibit the spirit of sportsmanship, you have to respect the outcome of the PDP primaries that was done transparently. The voting process was transparent, and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar emerged winner in the presidential primaries. And it is expected for Governor Wike to work for the party, as he made a vow on the day of the primaries that he will support whoever emerges as the PDP presidential candidate. And he boasted a lot of times that he's not interested in the vice presidential position. He's not interested for vice president, he wants to be president. So I don't think he should also be bitter that Atiku Abubakar didn't pick him as a running mate. Ordinarily, no right-thinking person in Atiku's shoes will pick a running mate like Wike, who has been almost an enemy politically to him. And you cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time. If you go back to Rivers State, where Wike is the leader of the PDP, there has been a primaries, and every other person that contested that governorship primaries have collapsed the structure for the PDP candidate in the state. So why is Wike not doing the same at the national level? What if other party members in the state start challenging the emergence of Simfobaya as the governorship candidate of PDP in the state? So you have to do to others as you have them do to you. So on my own part, I feel Wike is not exhibiting the spirit of sportsmanship in this issue.
Okay. So President Buhari says we won't use force to rescue abducted train victims. Ms. Musi, do you think this is the right approach? Do you think this is what Nigerians want to hear currently with the situation at hand?
You see, if you look for Nigerians, we would love it to be fire for fire, hot for hot. But we are talking about terrorism in this case now. These terrorists, they are holding some persons captive, and they are using them as a bait. So it's practically going to be very difficult to use force against them, and that is the point the President Muhammadu Buhari is making in this case. So it's really unfortunate that we have gotten to this position. We have gotten to the position whereby the terrorists are holding us by the jugular, and they just take for instance like this train victims, the passengers. Before we start seeing their current action of releasing the victims, you discover that they made a video, and in that video it was a kind of a dehumanizing video that whoever watched that video won't feel the same that day. So we could see how they have been tortured, they have been beaten, human beings have been beaten. This is 21st century, and nobody will see that and will be happy. And where are we going to start from? Are we going to start by saying we will order the Air Force to go into wherever the terrorists are holding these people captive to go and bomb there? By the time they bomb there, it means the same people that we are trying to rescue, them too, the terrorists, they are not daft, they are human beings, they are smart, you understand? They will use the captive as a human shield to make sure that for them to go, instead all of them will go, and the essence of that rescue will be defeated. So it's really unfortunate that we are being boxed up to this position.
So over to you, Mr. Clifford. Do you think this is the right approach to take? Do you think with the situation at hand, is this what Nigerians want to be hearing? Do you think it's a way to calm the people down? What is your piece on that?
Well, fighting insecurity has to do with a lot of tactics.
Okay.
You know, especially when you're dealing with an organized group of terrorists, like Mr. Musti rightly said. Intelligence gathering is what should be at the forefront of their tactics right now, because if you just go in with force, you definitely will have casualties of innocent people that will be injured or killed in the process of trying to use force on these people. But I think the government should step up their game. These are excuses as far as I'm concerned. I mean, these people have been abducted for almost 100 days now, you know, almost 100 days, and it's terrible that the government are telling us that they're not going to use force after this long period of time. We need to hear what measures have been put in place to rescue these people. What are the processes that you intend to use if you're not using force?
We're still on the terrorism issue. Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State says terrorists are creating a parallel government in Kaduna State.
Are creating what?
A parallel government in Kaduna State. They are setting up their own structures and so many other things, and it's dividing the state.
If you follow the trends of what happened in Afghanistan closely, you see some similarities between what is happening in Kaduna and in Nigeria. You know, before the terrorists, the Taliban took over the government house in Afghanistan, they conquered some territories close to the capital city. And I think this is what these people are trying to do now. If government do not handle this issue, terrorists run a parallel government and the governor is not doing anything tangible about it. So if insecurity lasts in a system for more than 24 hours, like Abacha said, the government is aware of it and know the right solution, but I feel they do not want to do it. Probably because they don't want to step on toes, or they don't want to stop the conflict entrepreneurs from making profits. Because I believe that there are people who make profit from the insecurity that has bedeviled this country.
Well, would you agree with that, Mr. Mustafa?
Well, it's really unfortunate that we allowed ourselves to drag until we get to this point. You see, there is no two ways about it. The current security arrangement that we have, the security architecture that we have, let me start this way, that within the APC itself, when it became so hot when the Southwest governors were like, they discovered that the banditry problem is snowballing to their area, there was certain calls from here and there to state police and some other things. APC as a party, who is the party in the power, as a ruling party, they decided to set up a committee, and that committee was headed by the same governor, Nasir El-Rufai. They told the whole of the federation, conducting a town hall meeting of all stakeholders, and part of the recommendation that they submitted to the party was establishment of state police. By now, we should expect the ruling party to initiate constitutional amendment so that to accommodate state police, because you can see that governors in Nigeria constitutionally they are regarded and referred to as the chief security officer of their state, but in reality they don't have any security structure. They are not in charge of the security structure within their state. Be it the police, the DSS, they are directly under the control of the commander-in-chief. So by now we should think of how to unbundle the security arrangement, whereby we have state police. When we don't have state police, there is nothing that governors can do within their domain. They cannot. The only thing they can do is to fall back on vigilantes. Even in Kaduna there are vigilantes. But when we are talking about terrorists, a formidable terrorists that they are using AK-47 and so other. These are terrorists that within same Kaduna or in Zamfara, they attack in military formation. NDA there was an attack, and in Zamfara. In Kaduna, NDA was attacked in Zamfara. we could see that they brought down a fighter jet. So
well, I apologize to cut you short. We have a special guest joining us, and we will be discussing the major headline. Yes, together. The one where Wike sues Tambuwal and Atiku and demands recognition as candidates. Today with us, joining us will be
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning.
I think if there's a connection issue, it is
Yes, a
network.
connection issue. While that is being sorted, we will go down and speak about the Catholics knocking Lalong of Plateau State over his comments about the Pope. Over to Mr. Clifford. What do you have to say about this?
You know, in Nigeria, we play politics with everything. You know, I don't see a reason why Lalong, who claimed to be a Catholic, would drag the Pope into the mockery waters of Nigerian politics, only in a justification of the Muslim ticket, which is an insensitive decision as far as I'm concerned. So dragging the Pope into or trying to justify the Muslim ticket, saying that the Pope has not called him to order, that he's taken the wrong decision, I think is a very, very careless move by the governor, and I don't support such.
So what do you have to say?
Well, he made that statement to spite those that are criticizing his decision to accept to be the DG of the Kashim and Tinubu's campaign of the council. He went too far. It seems as if those people within the power, it seems there is a disconnection between them and the people they are leading. Understand? If you understand the composition of Plateau State very well, you could see that Plateau State is one state that is sensitive when it comes to religion, especially to the person of Lalong. To me, he's more or less like a unifier, and he's trying to unify all interests within Plateau, but he's overdoing it, and it's within that context of overdoing it that he decided to make that unguided remark. He doesn't have any. I don't think he has any communication line. There is any communication line between the Pope and him. But instead of that, it's just a kind of side statement to say, look, I'm a Catholic. If somebody could call me to order, the Catholic who is the head, the Pope who is the head of the Catholic Church is the one that's supposed to call him to order. But what he's saying, invariably, that is what he's saying. That the Pope did not okay his decision. You understand? To me, it's more. He said that to spite those who are criticizing the Muslim ticket. You should understand that the sensitivity of the people, whether you like it or not, APC, they have done what they think is the right thing to do. But politicians should think beyond their interest. They should look at it beyond interest. Nigeria is a sensitive country whereby the only way we could survive and maintain that unity in diversity is inclusiveness, and that is one thing that Governor Lalong did not take into consideration. At a time like this, instead of speaking out, just take your decision and remain quiet. Future will take its course regarding issue like this. So to me, I'll call on politicians that look, when they are playing their politics, they should be mindful of their utterances, because same utterances will come and haunt them tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much for that input. We will go back to our special guest again. Hopefully our technical issue has been sorted.
I still don't think his network is good enough.
Sadly, we experienced some technical issues and our guest couldn't come on our show. Thank you for listening to the brief today. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Aspheric TV. Do have a wonderful day. Thank you.